Testing. I hope my speaker's on. Yeah, I don't think my speaker was on this whole time. Can somebody like hit me up and say yay, nay if my speaker was on? Because if it wasn't, I'm just going to repeat basically what I was saying in a nutshell, however. Because I don't want to have to explain it like 50 million times. Rewinding the tape, then, just in case. Okay, so what I was saying when I believe my speaker was up is that there are people in the world who take the liberty of saying whatever they feel like saying to you, but you shouldn't say anything to them because if you say something to them, then you're hostile. Or maybe if you are a black woman, a lot of the times you are not just saying something to them. You are actually an angry black woman, right? So, needless to say, on this past Sunday, we went to church, my family, and when church was over, there's a whole grown a man that takes offense to everything that somebody says to him. And this man was talking with my children, and this man started pointing out the fact that my son is not a taller young man. I don't have any real tall children, and that's just what it is. My son was born early. Okay. Um, Still, it's really not this man's business or anyone's business. I don't feel. So, needless to say, um, this man who once again gets mad over anything, if you look at him wrong, you got a problem, Houston. But he goes around making jokes that are like the LBVS type jokes, laughing but very serious. Like, I meant that. But try to play it off like, I was just joking. Those backward compliment type situations. I mean, for goodness sake, this man has told me to take the weave out of my hair before. And it's weird because, first of all, I'm married. Second of all, you need to mind your business and tend to your wife. And so he is up there making his usual jokes, but he's doing it to my son. My son is 14 years old. Now, we're leaving out the church. I didn't hear the whole thing. I didn't really hear any of it. But when we get outside, I look back for my family, and my son is behind us, and my son is crying. So, of course, I'm like, hey, what's wrong? What? Whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? Trying to just figure out what's wrong with my son. And so then I'm like, you tell me, you know what I mean? Because I don't know what's going on. And I'm going to need to know right now what is the problem with you? What has happened? Is it somebody? Did something happen? I don't know. So finally he busts out and he told me. And when he told me, he said, Mr. XYZ was talking about my height and how I haven't gotten any taller and stuff. So anyway, I realized that my heart has started beating very fast. I'm trying to see if I hold on. I was seeing if I could log this to where it's on YouTube and Facebook so that I don't have to explain this story again. I hope you guys can hear me. This daggone thing is going, I don't know. Needless to say, we're here now. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Thanks. So anyway, this grown man started like saying like these insults to my 14-year-old son. When I say grown man, I'm talking about this man 50. And you don't need to be talking to these kids anyway, because is that even is that you talk to me? I'm the mama, and my child got a daddy. You talk to the parents. Let me talking to these kids. If you had a question regarding my child's height or anything, the grades, anything, then all I'm saying is that you should talk to the parents. Leave that there. Boom. So anyway, when I noticed that my son was freaking crying, I'm like, yeah, tell me what's up. And then here come my husband. And when it comes to our kids, my husband is a lunatic, like most people, but he's more of a quiet type, benefit of the doubt type of a person. But when he found out what was said to my son, he stormed off. And I mean, when he stormed off, I would got nervous because not only is he off than me, but I was scared like it was gonna be a real problem. Like he really finna like say something and it's like this ain't healthy. And so he caught up with this man. And, my husband, he got it straight now, he said, right. And I'm not real cool with this particular person or cool at all. Like, because the person always, like I said, makes jokes about everybody, which can't say nothing to them. Please don't make a joke towards them. We got these people who like to give these backward compliments to say, we're cool with you, and all that. No, actually, you're not. Actually, you don't like me, So we're going to go ahead and play like you're not acting like you're friendly with me, knowing you do not like me for whatever reason. And so like I said, my husband and this gentleman, I figured like this is all straight now. And from what I understood, this man felt real bad about like saying this and making these jokes about height to my 14, this 50-something-year-old man. Um, he felt bad about making height jokes to my son. And so I thought it was resolved. Like I said, me and this man ain't cool like that. And I ain't gonna lie. So I did end up like mulling it over. And I had always tried to remain calmer than my husband because my husband was ready to have a whole fit. Let me open this blind and make sure we can see if I can get a little more light. See if that I'm sitting in front of this window. So anyway, I'm the type of person I'd go around feeling sorry for people. I don't know why I'm like that. Cause who feels sorry for me? Nobody. No. I mean, I don't know of anybody who feels sorry for me. Give me nothing. Invite me to their house. Call me. I mean, there's a couple people, but my mom died, and I didn't hear from nobody. Most of the time people start bringing all kind of food to your house. I didn't. Nobody brought nothing on my house. Now I don't know if it's because they felt intimidated too, like they think that I'm gonna look down or look down my nose because I'm a good cook, and I'm like, I can't cook, I don't want it, or what. But you know what I mean? Ain't nobody feeling sorry for me, but I feel sorry for everybody. So I end up calling this man who I'm not really cool with, because they act funny and said jokes and rude stuff to me. And now it's like trickled down. Like you gonna start saying stuff to my kids, but I thought it was like innocent, and he was sorry. Call this man up. This man had the horror audacity to be acting stank. So I was thinking to myself, like, maybe he thinks I'm gonna try to confront him. I didn't know what to think. I honestly, I did not know what even to think because how funny this man was acting. And when I say he was acting funny, I'm talking about when I started saying anything Terry to him, it was like, "Hi, how are you?" Nothing like I'm calling about my son, nothing. And on Russia, if that would have been the tone that I wanted to take, I would have started. That would have been the start of the conversation. Is that I would have started out going straight in, probably. You know what I mean? Because people don't play. People don't play about their children. I don't play about my children. I don't know how many of y'all got children, but I bet you don't play about your kiddos. So, needless to say, um, I was like, well, okay. So the conversation kind of goes like this. Hey, XYZ, I just want to make sure that we're clear. My son, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, my son's name, whatever. But anyway, I was like, he's fine. I was like, we understand that it was like in a joking way and stuff like that, and things happen. Cause I thought maybe this man would want to know, hey, my child is good. Ain't nobody tripping, we're cool, But the nigga was acting funny. And the reason why I said the N word, and I kind of meant to say it, is because how dare you? How dare you do something to my baby? To any baby, anybody's kids. But don't do something to somebody's kids and we're trying to tell you, hey, ain't no hard feelings. And then the reaction that we get is you're gonna act like all right. Cool. Anyway, as though, like I'm saying, like I'm boring this man by saying my son is good. We ain't tripping. My son is fine. You know what I mean? His feelings ain't hurt. Nothing. And that was really offensive to me. It is. It's very offensive to me. And you know what that reminds me of? People like this guy. It reminds me of how a lot of times, especially us, and and we're the parents and stuff like that. These teachers, teachers like to play around too much with children. I feel, well, very much so. And then when the kids play back or say something that a child probably shouldn't say, then the teacher gets mad and want to send them to the principal office and all that. But you was the one joking. The kind of stuff that my kids come home telling me that the teacher said is like, huh? Because this is a person in a position of authority. And so you would kind of think that a person who's in the position of authority would kind of conduct themselves, not like I have to be mean to students, I have to be so hardcore on these, I have to do all that, but conduct themselves in a professional manner that would, I would say, exude like the fact that they are an authoritarian instead of playing so much with these kids. And I've heard of these teachers, just like this man sitting up here playing, going too far with kids to where, it ends up being a big bunch of mess. Now, I ain't heard nothing about this man and like he did something to no kids, but I have heard of teachers to where they've even done weird stuff to these kids, you know, and not just wear inappropriate things to these kids because they want to fall in so much, you know what I mean? And that's why people say, and I see why they say, you know what? You can't be friends with your kids. And sometimes I think to myself, yeah, you can. You and your kids can be friends together, as long as you have boundaries. Da, da, da. But you know what? The more that I have thought about it, because I got a whole bunch of kids, is like it's like this, right? You have to have a fine line in the sand when it comes to the friendships with your children. The line has to be there where they understand and they know. Me and mama, me and daddy, we could talk about everything. but I cannot cross my parents. And with that being said, that's the kind of relationship I try to have with my children. We're friendly. And the reason why I like to have a friendly relationship with my children is because I don't want to have it to where my children can't come to me and say nothing because they're going to get in trouble, or they just hold it all in, or they're suffering with depression, or just different things that could really actually happen in real time with these children, because we have a lot of children who are not wanting to live, and they're doing stuff to themselves to exit, from living. And you guys know what I'm saying that is going on with these children. A lot of these children are they're hurting. They're in a lot of pain, and a lot of stuff goes on with these kids that they don't feel like they can say. So all I'm getting at is, you know what? Don't have your kids to feel like they can't talk to you. Like I'm a strict parent, and that's just the truth. I am a more strict parent. But I'm not strict to where I put my kids, make them feel like you can't say nothing to me. If you try to, no, you know what? Better yet, when I was coming up, the children was to be more so seen and not heard, and that's just what was said. And not only people say that, but that's what it was. You do not need to be talking. Your parents would take you with them back when I was young. They would take you with them to their friends' house. They sitting there all day long. And you had to sit there. You don't chime in. Nowadays, these kids, they be all chiming into adult, conversations and stuff. That ain't it. That ain't it. Because it's not appropriate. So that's why I say there has to be a fine line between you and your um between you and your children, to where they know and they understand that I don't get in my parents' conversation and stuff like that, because I can't stand talking to somebody and their kids chime in and even, I mean, they correcting their mama and stuff like, okay, mom, and me and the mom is having a whole conversation, and the mom says something like, that ain't how it happened. Like, even though it's like, that ain't my kid, it's like, what? Uh-uh. That, nuh-uh. You are a child, though. That's the only thing about the you are the child. That is the parent. And I tell my kids, the truth of the matter is, what if I was trying to lying to save your life, to save our life, and I'm trying to make up a quick something, because you never know what could happen. I guess that's what I mean. Not like literally, but in theory. And I mean, the kid is all, no, in that case, that's a different story. But all that kids are seen and not heard. They can't vocalize anything. They scared to talk to the parents. Parents don't want to hear them. All that stuff. That's old. That's old news to me as far as how it goes with these kids. And I feel that kids, you can learn a lot. You can learn a whole lot. Not just you can learn a lot from anybody, but these kids these days, they are learning things that I did not learn until seventh grade. And I'm in the 80s, growing up in the 80s. 70 or late 70s, 80s. That's when I came up. And when I came up, we showed didn't. I didn't even think they had a computer at the school. And if they did, yeah, that was when you were seventh grade that you were going to learn how to use these computers and stuff. But anyway, fine line with kids should not just apply in parenting. I think it should apply as well in education, because um and just with adults, period, because when this happened, with my son, and I waited Thursday, because this happened Sunday, and I gave this gentleman a call. I thought truly that this man would actually be kind of like a little bit like concerned about my child. Like, I want to make sure your child is good. And when a person gets like that, you know what I mean, about their kids and stuff, it's like, let's act funny in real life, in real time, because now this man is aware. He's fully aware of the situation. He's aware of what happened. Now, this the thing. If you start acting funny toward my child because you're mad, then we gotta be like, we got a problem. We're gonna have a problem. And I already know how I am, and I know how my husband is, and I know how immature people are. They want to take it out on on you because of something that they did, and you're the one who did something. We don't know you. Did we do something to you? I'm sorry. Excuse me. Nope. Nope. Nobody did nothing to this particular person. So all I'm going to say is, if you don't want to speak to my family, cool. But hello, hi, how are you? But yeah, don't you dare try to retaliate. I don't care if you retaliate on me. I'm an adult. I can handle it. I sure can. But if I find out that this person acting funny toward my child because my child got upset and shared this with his parents, I don't know. I'm like, not gonna just be like, oh. And what I'm more fearful of is I don't want that out of my husband. I don't. I don't. We ain't gotta be cool. Nothing has to be nothing. But don't try to act funny towards my kid, because my kid told what you was doing to them. You had no business playing with my child. That's a child. You freaking 40 years older, 45 years older than my child, and you think it's okay to hurt kids' feelings and all that. You think it's okay. But if somebody hurt one of his children, oh my gosh, he'd be calling the police on himself. Because he would want retaliation, I'm sure, like most people. And so, with that being said, I guess whatever is whatever. I'm prayerful. And for those of you guys who are prayer warriors, keep me in prayer. Keep me in prayer, please. Keep my family in prayer, because I don't want no mess. I ain't trying to be showing up on the 6 o'clock news. Shoot. So anyway, I think I'm gonna put just a little eyeshadow on there. I should did, if I was gonna do this. You know what? I should have did the eyeshadow first, but because I didn't. See, what could happen when you're putting your eyeshadow on? Little sprinkles of eyeshadow end up getting in your makeup. And that's why a lot of people, you guys see a lot of people do their makeup first. But what I will say is, I know it may come across to you guys that, she's not a makeup artist. This is not a makeup channel. But what I will tell you is the truth. Is the truth of the matter is that I am a makeup artist, and I've been to cosmetology school, and um, I do makeup for people at times when I take on makeup jobs. So I don't just cater for people. I do people makeup. Sometimes I may do their hair. Not as much hair like I used to. Mostly I do a lot of cooking and catering for people. The reason why I'm going to put this under my eye is because it's going to catch loose makeup particles. So I could just sweep it off. So I'm putting it on there kind of thick. This is not for baking purposes. Baking is when you let it sit. I mean, I know y'all probably know when you let it sit on your face for some time. So I'm gonna have to let it sit there because I'm doing my eyeshadow, but not for baking. hmm And then I want to just a little bit more. Make sure it's kind of loosely, so the brush off relatively easy. So I'm gonna use my favorite palette. That's always been my favorite, and this is inexpensive makeup. This is Masquerade by Juvia's Place. I think nowadays it may have went to $25. I don't know, and that's only because everything in life costs more than it once did. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna stamp it on. And I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. The reason why I feel like you should maybe want to trust my makeup skins and you can try them out for yourself is because of this. A lot of people are doing this deal when they don't put they just use concealer and they bronze and stuff, right? I made a video doing that probably 6 or 7 years ago, right? And then it became popping. Now, I'm not trying to indicate nothing, but what I am saying is that I've been doing it. That's all. What happens a lot of time is people feel like, oh, this is like just a cooking channel. So by it just being a cooking channel, how would they know about makeup? How would they know about the best jeans? I'm thinking I'm gonna do a video about what's the best jeans for women that have any kind of like a curve or something like that. So anyway, after I stamp that on, then what I do is I start going like like just blending it, and I'm going gently to. Hey, son, we're gonna get ready to go. What at about three? Three. Mm, You're welcome. And so anyway, don't eat really too much because you're gonna sing after, right? What is you finna do? Get some food. Eat a little something because it's an hour out. So I'm holding it by almost the end, right? So that it causes me to be more gentle and my blending looks better. And when we talk about blending makeup, the thing of the matter is this. You also need to blend your face makeup because I'm starting to see a lot of face makeup where I'm seeing the highlight it looks like a circle, and then I'm seeing the bronze and it looks like a circle. So we may want to avoid that. So I want to cut my cheeks a little bit, meaning sharpen my cheekbone. So with the wood is on here, I'm going to drag it to here. If I wanted to heighten my cheekbones, then I would curve it under a little bit more and it would make them lifted. But quite frankly, I don't want to do it today. I'm just doing this. So this will still give a lot of definition to your cheeks. So don't bring it all the way in. Sometimes I see that too, and it leaves harsh lines. So then, anyway, another thing I think I want to do, I'm gonna put a little bit. This is just finishing powder. I'm gonna put some of this on my forehead, and when I go to take it off, I'm gonna show you what I do. So just wiping on, just regularly. we're gonna do a little trick because it's winter time. So a lot of us are experiencing. Well, we probably all are experiencing our winter color, which is a lighter shade than what maybe our normal makeup color would be. See, that's cut out. I hope you guys can see that. Cut out, whatever. So then, anyway, moving on. So we can see the difference between this eye and the blending. Holding it almost at the tip. I could typically probably do this, and you can too. Um, you could probably get it done in 10 minutes, which is it's not long. And so we're going to go in a circular motion. Yeah, we're going to go circular motion, and on the inner part right here, I want to bring it up higher because I want to have that kind of fade in there. But I want to start higher right here. And then I want to repeat. I'm going to dip a little bit more in there. Okay. Somebody says to me or whatever, oh, you got your makeup caked on. And I don't know why people worry so much about who wear makeup or who ain't. But it's kind of like, it's on my face. So, and at the end of the day, if I want to wear it, then I guess I can. If I may not want to wear it, I guess I don't feel like it. But I I feel like makeup is like expressive and it really allows those artistic juices to really flow. So I got a clean brush right here, and what I'm doing is going at the edge. I like that because it allows it to blend better. There you go, move it up because you're gonna have a little bit. What's left up there? And now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go into a brown. I'm gonna go into this. It's like the most brown one here. Boop. I'm gonna just see that dab, hit it, dust falls off. Okay, and so then now I'm gonna add a little bit deeper here. I'm gonna just add a little bit. How about? I'm gonna go on this eye right here. I think I want like a smokier look today. So I'm gonna pat because I feel like too it is a harsh line right there. So here's how we correct things. If we feel like it's harsh, you're gonna take some setting powder or this is some banana powder. They call it baking powder, but there's all different kinds of powders. So I'm gonna take a little of this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gently gonna go over that, and I'm gonna pat and get it more in that middle, right? And the reason why I'm going to do it is because when I dust it off, it's gonna take away the harsh line. Okay, y'all, listen, listen, girl. I be doing the young girl makeup too for their proms and homecoming and stuff. I really want to pick back up on it, like a lot. Like start advertising a lot more. But watercut. So now that I have that like that, I think what I'm gonna do is I have a color right here. I hope y'all can see. This is a I don't know. Anyway, it's a orangish. It's like a burnt orange with some sparkles on it. And so anyway, I'm going to put that on the directly on the eyelid itself. At we're gonna go down here. It's dead on the eyelid. And as we put it on the eyelid, then we're gonna work it up, overlapping it on the original color. Mm, okay, that's pretty. I like it. So then that's that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and dust the powder off that I was using to catch any makeup fallout. And I'm going to do it a way that if I have it down here, oh, I do. I do. Okay, good. So this is a mineralized skin finish. It's by MAC. And what it does, it's like slightly a highlighter effect without it being a highlighter to where you only use it right here, right here, right here, and tip. And that's where most people do. Okay. This one, it just makes your skin look healthy. So I'm just gonna take some and then I'm gonna dust it off. Right. Because another thing I don't like to see is casting on people makeup. When I talk about casting, what I'm saying is this. It's like, especially when you take pictures, it's like white. And that's not the look we're going for. So under the eye, I know that a lot of people like it to be, like highlighted, a lighter color to where it makes your face have more dimension per se. But uh, I don't like to do that a whole lot. I like to go over my face, and if I didn't have this, for instance, then what I would use is probably like a bronzer, but I wouldn't put much on. So anyway, I'm gonna have that go. And then we see the line, which is kind of harsher than what I would want, right? To me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tone the line down by taking the same brush, but it is a smaller brush as we can see. And I'm gonna compare it to one that's bigger but the same type. So it's a dense brush with a lot of hairs in it, but it's just little to where you could have more control, right? Yeah. And you want to just blend your makeup. Everybody talks about blend your eyeshadow. Blend your face makeup. Blend it just the same way that you would take care in blending your shadow. So now that I've done that, I think the last thing that I'm going to do is put on, I like a liquid liner. Um, One of the biggest reasons why I like a liquid liner is because the shape of my eyes is downward because I had to have an eye surgery that would help me to keep my eyes open because for some reason my eyes were just like clampy. So anyway, like all the time. So let me see here. I like to take this liner. This is liquid. Press down on my lashes. And I like to begin to draw on it. Okay. Okay. So once again, we press downward. Because I remember for a long time I couldn't do liquid liner right. And like, oh gosh. And like right now, I think I got some in my eyeball, on my eyeball, because I pressed down too far. But it's there you go. So after you draw it, color it in. That's how I like to just kind of get it over it that way. So that's good. I think I'm gonna add like a little wing to my eyes. So I'm gonna look for that out. Okay. So when I go to put a line, I try to hold my head as straight as possible, not like accidentally. But anyway, I put a dot right there, and then I put a dot right there. That's a bigger dot, but whatever. We'll do it the best way that we can. So then I draw over the dot and I come inward, inward and onward. That's not a perfect inward, but we're going to do this. About inward. Okay. So I want to fix this one. It's just kind of getting on my nerves. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I don't like how that's too. Yeah, I don't like the thickness right here. I like it real thin right there, but I just see there. Look like two different eyes. They ain't even looking like cousins. They're not looking like cousins. Okay though. This stuff is really, really stuck on there good. Okay. Alright.